On May 1st, 2020, just weeks into the start of the COVID lockdown, 45-year-old father Raymond Hawkins heard a knock at his door around 9:40 p.m. Expecting a late delivery, he opened it to find a man dressed as a courier. The stranger explained he needed to take a picture of the package on the doorstep, something that had become common practice during the pandemic for proof of delivery.
Put it on your door and take it because coronavirus.
With no reason to suspect otherwise, Raymond let his guard down. What he didn't know was that the man standing at his door wasn't a delivery driver at all. He was the front of a gang armed with knives, ready to force their way inside. In an instant, the disguise dropped. The fake courier lunged at Raymond with a knife as three masked men followed close behind. Muffled cries echoed through the house as chaos erupted. Raymond and his wife fought back desperately while the intruders pushed inside. The robbery lasted only minutes, but it was enough. The gang fled with thousands of dollars worth of items, leaving behind blood and fear. Raymond and his son sustained knife wounds, non-life-threatening but serious, while the rest of the family was left traumatized. In the weeks that followed, two of the attackers, Anthony Lasis and Christopher Sargent, were caught and charged with aggravated burglary and possession of a knife. But the other two have never been found. The chilling part of this case isn't just the violence, it's how convincing the setup was. A man in a delivery vest, a parcel at the door, even the request to take a photo to confirm the drop-off. For most, it wouldn't raise suspicion. But one detail stood out. The supposed delivery happened at 9:40 p.m., a time when no legitimate courier would be dropping packages. It's a harsh reminder that some criminals will go to extreme lengths to trick their way inside. And sometimes, all it takes is one moment of trust at the door. This family was forced to fight for survival after opening the door. While in this next clip, another family would realize danger can appear only seconds after locking the door. This video was originally uploaded to TikTok as a warning, reminding others to stay alert and aware of their surroundings. In the clip, a mother named JoJo and her son Daniel are seen returning home late at night. They step inside, close the door behind them, and for a brief moment, everything seems normal. But only seconds later, the camera captures something deeply unsettling. A man approaching their home and immediately testing the front door handle.
Go shower really fast. I need you to go shower. Please, Daniel. Who's that?
Inside, JoJo and Daniel begin to argue lightly, with JoJo telling her son to shower and Daniel insisting he's too tired. Their voices don't hide the sound of the doorknob rattling. JoJo quickly realizes someone is outside and rushes to check. When she looks through the door, she finds a stranger standing there. She yells for him to leave. The man steps back once but doesn't go away. Instead, he remains in full view of the camera, silent, staring with a blank and unsettling expression.
Who is that? Get out of here! Get out of here! There's a guy outside, look!
Where he came from is uncertain. The door blocks the angle, making it impossible to see if he had followed them home or if he had been lurking nearby, waiting for their return. Some believe he had been trailing them the entire way back, while others think he was already camped near the house, watching and waiting. What he intended to do if that door had been unlocked will never be known. Jojo quickly called the police, but by the time they arrived, the man had vanished, leaving behind nothing but questions and a chilling reminder of how close danger can come. In the following footage, another homeowner would face a man, this time lingering outside, muttering in the dark. In September of 2018, a man named Jeff Null uploaded a video to his channel with a title that immediately caught attention: "Man trying to enter my home in the middle of the night." The footage, captured on his front porch, shows a stranger approaching his door, moving cautiously at first, as if trying to figure out a way inside. At first glance, it almost seems harmless, just a man loitering by the entrance. But within moments, his behavior turns more disturbing. He grips the doorknob, pulling and twisting, all while muttering to himself in the dark. Some of his words can be made out, but most are jumbled and unclear, leaving only a sense of unease. Before he can push his attempt any further, the homeowner calls out through a window, warning that the police will be called.
Okay, I was just looking for a dog fighter. Whoa. You don't have to get all like that and stuff, honey. You know, we could be friends.
What happens next is unsettling in its own way. The man, instead of leaving immediately, offers a bizarre excuse, claiming he was only looking for his dog named Fido. He even suggests that he and the homeowner could be friends, before finally walking away into the night. He was never seen again by the uploader. To this day, his intentions remain unknown, and the video leaves viewers with a chilling question: what might have happened if he had managed to get inside? The unease of someone testing your door is hard to shake. Yet in this next clip, the threat doesn't come from a stranger. It comes from inside a house itself. This doorbell footage captures the shocking moment a home in Arlington, Texas, suddenly explodes in the middle of the night. It was 2 a.m. on January 1st, 2022, when the silence of the neighborhood was shattered by a massive blast just a few houses away. Authorities later confirmed the explosion was caused by a gas appliance that hadn't been fully shut off. By sheer luck, no one was inside the home at the time and no injuries were reported. Still, the destruction was severe. The house itself suffered catastrophic structural damage, while flying debris struck surrounding buildings. Residents in apartments across the street reported shattered windows, and several parked vehicles were also damaged. In the aftermath, emergency lines lit up with calls from terrified neighbors who had heard and felt the explosion. An entire street rocked by disaster shows how fragile safety can be. Although in the following footage, it was a masked figure outside a home would leave an entire neighborhood unsettled. This eerie and unsettling footage was captured by a homeowner's Ring camera one night in August 2023. in an otherwise peaceful neighborhood in Bowling Green, Ohio. A masked man rings the doorbell and immediately runs off. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than a childish prank. But watching closely, you notice something strange. He never actually ran away. Instead, he stood in the middle of the street, completely still, his face hidden behind the mask, just staring silently at the door. The sound of the doorbell had already woken the homeowner, who made his way downstairs. And when he looked outside, he was met with the unsettling sight of the masked figure eyeing him down from the street. Disturbed by what he saw, the homeowner called the police. The next day, Bowling Green police posted the footage on Facebook, asking neighbors to help identify the intruder. It didn't take long before other residents came forward, saying they had experienced similar encounters in the days before the video was uploaded. Despite the footage spreading quickly, the masked man was never identified, and his true intentions remain unknown. Was it just a disturbing prank taken too far, or the sign of something more sinister waiting to happen? The masked man's silent presence created unease from a distance. But in this next clip, the threat doesn't wait outside. It forces its way through the door. This next footage is a stark reminder of why you should always check who's at your door before opening it, especially late at night. Doorbell cameras exist for a reason, and if someone you don't know shows up at such an hour, the safest choice is not to answer. Unfortunately, in this case, the homeowner did exactly the opposite.
Hello. Hi. How far are you, sir?
Who are you?
Everybody, how far are you?
Good. You need to leave.
How far?
Out there.
What's the stairs?
What?
What's the stairs here?
Come on, where are you going?
What's the stairs here?
Goodbye, Hugh.
Around 1 a.m., a hooded man approached the front door of a random house. His pace was quick, his movements aggressive, and before even ringing the bell, he tried the handle, as if testing the lock. When that didn't work, he pressed the doorbell. Shockingly, the homeowner opened almost immediately without first checking who was there. His initial greeting even sounded unusually friendly given the circumstances. But within seconds, the situation escalated. The stranger shoved forward, and the homeowner had to push him back, slamming the door shut. The man retaliated by punching the glass before standing outside for nearly a minute longer, rattling the doorknob as if still looking for a way in. Though parts of the audio are difficult to make out, the man's behavior suggests he may have been under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Whether his goal was burglary or something worse, the danger was clear. By the time police were called, he was already gone, and it's still unknown if he was ever identified. A sudden visitor at the doorstep can leave lasting fear. While in the following footage, the image of a masked stranger staring into a camera would bring that same fear to an entire community. This next image was first shared in a neighborhood Facebook group by a concerned homeowner. She wanted to warn others after her Ring camera captured something deeply unsettling just outside her home. It was a little after 10 p.m. when the camera picked up a man in a white mask lurking near her door, peering toward the house as if checking for a way in. In her post, the woman wrote, "I just want my neighbors to be aware and safe. Please, if possible, share this post. Screenshots are welcome." She added that he appeared to be wearing a hoodie and jeans, though the mask was what stood out most of all. The disturbing image shows him staring directly into the camera, frozen in place, a moment no homeowner ever wants to see on their doorbell footage. At the same time, it's exactly the kind of moment that makes you grateful the camera was there. Neighbors later reported seeing the same masked man wandering through the area, even walking up to other front doors. Thankfully, no one made the mistake of opening the door. Seeing someone lurking outside your home is disturbing enough. But in this next clip, danger doesn't wait on the porch. It pulls up directly to a child in the street. In April of 2021, Shea Bryant and her husband were at home in North Carolina when their 13-year-old son stepped outside to walk the family dog. It was a simple routine, something done countless times before. But this time, their Ring camera captured something far from ordinary. A silver BMW pulled up in front of their home, and a man immediately got out, approaching the boy without hesitation. He didn't introduce himself, didn't waste a moment. He simply asked the teen if he lived in the neighborhood. The suddenness of it all was alarming. For the Bryants, who had warned their son about stranger danger many times before, this was the very scenario they had always feared. The boy froze, caught off guard by the stranger's presence. What makes the encounter most disturbing is how quickly it unfolded. The man didn't circle back or stall. He stopped the car, stepped out, and approached within seconds. It raised the question, was he prowling the neighborhood, waiting for someone vulnerable, or was he already familiar with the family's routine? Fortunately, the boy's father intervened almost immediately.
What you got to ask my son?
I was wondering about the airplane noise.
Talking to my son and he ain't got no adult out here. That's kind of creepy.
When confronted, the man scrambled for an excuse, blurting out that he was just wondering about airplane noise in the area. But his story fell apart instantly. It made little sense, and it certainly didn't explain why he had pulled over to approach a 13-year-old. Shea Bryant, the boy's mother, later admitted that even after the man drove away, the unease never left her. No one knows what his true intentions were, or whether he had targeted her son specifically. The suspect was never seen in the neighborhood again. For the Bryants, the incident was a chilling reminder. Sometimes danger doesn't hide in the shadows. It pulls right up to the curb. A stranger approaching with unsettling intent is maybe the most terrifying thing that could happen for any parent. But in the following footage, a man who seems confused entering someone's house feels no less threatening. Late one night, a Ring camera captured a strange and unsettling scene. A man, clearly intoxicated, stumbled up to a house and began trying to open the front door. At first, it almost seemed like he knew the place. His movements weren't frantic, but deliberate, as if he believed he belonged there. But from inside, screams of fear rang out.
Sorry. Who the f*** are you? What the f*** is wrong with you?
To the homeowners, this wasn't a confused neighbor or a drunk stranger. It felt like an intruder trying to break in. What makes the footage even more disturbing is how easily the man seemed to tamper with the door, pulling at it with a confidence that raises questions. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any more information about this footage, leaving the entire event surrounded by uncertainty. Did this man actually know the homeowners, or was it a case of mistaken identity fueled by alcohol? Or was it something more sinister? For now, the answers remain unknown. One unexpected visitor is disturbing enough, but in this following clip, the same intruder would keep returning again and again, leaving entire neighborhoods on edge. In August of 2019, a home security camera in Troy, Michigan, captured something deeply unsettling. The footage showed a man walking slowly up a staircase, glancing around as if unfamiliar with his surroundings. And that was because this man had broken into the home. What the camera didn't capture was the most disturbing part. Just seconds later, he entered the homeowner's bedroom, where she was asleep. She awoke to find him standing over her bed. Startled, she screamed, and the intruder fled the house. Despite having clear footage, police were left with no leads, no idea who he was or how he had gotten inside. 2 months later, in October of that same year, the man appeared again, this time in Rochester Hills. A security camera caught him climbing onto a hot tub and peering through a window before quietly walking away. Once again, the homeowner reported the incident, and once again, the man slipped away. By January 2020, he struck again. This time, in Bloomfield Township, he was caught peering through a kitchen window, then hiding behind a tree. The homeowner received a notification from his security system and later released footage of the man moving along the side of the house. For months, the intruder evaded capture. But in February, a break finally came. A police officer spotted the man running from a residential yard in the same neighborhood. This time, there would be no escape. The suspect was arrested and identified as 27-year-old Donovan Johnson, a bankruptcy attorney. He was issued a citation, a restraining order, and ordered to wear a GPS tether until his court date. Beyond his arrest, details remain scarce. Updates on the outcome of the case have not been widely shared, but if convicted, it's likely that Donovan Johnson is still serving time today. For the residents of Troy, Rochester Hills, and Bloomfield Township, the story was a chilling reminder that sometimes the greatest danger isn't a stranger passing through. It's someone determined enough to keep coming back. A quiet break-in attempt can already shake your nerves. But this next footage shows something maybe even more unsettling. An intruder who makes no effort to hide. Late at night, the last thing anyone expects is the sound of someone violently trying to break through their front door. But in this footage, that's exactly what happened. A man can be seen slamming his body against the entrance, repeatedly trying to force his way inside. He stumbles and sways unsteadily, his movements suggesting exhaustion, or perhaps something else entirely. His facial expression only adds to the unease, leaving viewers to wonder what state of mind he was truly in. Unfortunately, I couldn't find much more background information about this video. But one thing is for certain, it's unsettling to watch, and it leaves behind far more questions than answers. Who was this man? Why was he trying so desperately to get inside? And what might have happened if the door hadn't held the slamming? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. A man hurling himself at a locked door is frightening to watch. But in this next clip, danger takes a different form, lurking on the street, targeting a child walking home. 10-year-old Graydon Downland from Riverton, Utah, was walking home alone from basketball practice on a December evening around 6 p.m. It should have been an ordinary walk, just a few blocks to his house. But partway along the route, he noticed a 4-door sedan creeping slowly behind him. Inside were 2 men, watching him. Graydon later said he began walking faster as soon as he saw the car. Moments later, it pulled up beside him. The men rolled down their windows and told him they had candy in the back seat, trying to lure him inside. This happened only blocks from his home. Graydon ignored the men and quickened his pace, glancing back as the car followed. A few seconds later, he reached his family's front porch. Their house had a doorbell camera, which captured the moment clearly. As Graydon approaches the door, you can actually see the car lingering in the background. The car's reverse lights flash on, and it starts moving toward him while he tries the handle, but realizes the front door is locked.
Mom! Who's that? Get away! Get away!
Panicked, Graydon yells out and grabs nearby rocks to defend himself. He then bolts to his next-door neighbor's house, where the door is unlocked, letting himself in and locking it behind him. Outside, the car turns around again and can be seen lurking in the area for several minutes, waiting for him to come back out. Police were called, and a report was filed. Graydon described the men as being in their 30s or 40s with no facial hair. Both his family and investigators have little doubt about what the men intended that night. Thanks to his quick thinking and the unlocked neighbor's door, what could have been a tragedy ended with Graydon safe inside. But the footage still stands as a chilling reminder of how real these dangers can be. Quick thinking helped Graydon escape a terrifying situation outside. Yet in this last footage, even being inside with the door locked wasn't enough to feel safe. This woman had just returned home from walking her dog. Her doorbell camera shows her unclipping the leash when she suddenly glances to the side, and in that instant, her entire demeanor changes. She scoops up her dog and rushes inside, locking the door behind her. Moments later, the reason becomes clear. A man appears on camera, walking directly toward her front door. He tries the handle, only to find it locked. What follows is deeply unsettling. The man begins pulling on gloves, and the homeowner later recalled that he had been carrying zip ties as well. He peers into the house, testing the door handle several more times before pausing as a neighbor steps outside. To avoid suspicion, he casually grabs a garden hose and pretends to be doing yard work. But once the coast is clear, he circles to the back of the house.
Camera recording.
He tried to force his way inside as the woman locked herself in a room and called the police. While outside, the man grew bolder. He tugged at windows, ripped a screen from its frame, and tried nearly every entry point he could, thankfully without success. By the time officers arrived, the man was gone. The homeowner later posted the footage to TikTok, hoping someone would recognize him. But as far as I could find, no one ever did. And that leaves the most disturbing question of all. What exactly was he planning to do if he had managed to get inside? Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, click to see more on the video on screen.